An alarming development overnight. Poland says it has shot down Russian drones that violated the country's airspace earlier today during an attack on Ukraine. It marks the first time Poland or any NATO member state has directly engaged Russian assets since Vladimir Putin launched his full-scale invasion in 2022. Poland's military says the drones were aimed at targets in Ukraine, but repeatedly violated Polish airspace, prompting the response. The incident came just hours after Poland announced it will temporarily close its border with Belarus starting tomorrow as Belarus and Russia conduct major joint military exercises. So, David Rowe, this has been the fear that this war bleeds further into Eastern Europe, beyond the borders of Ukraine. And last night it did, into Poland, and rallying a response from NATO.
I think Putin is testing NATO, and I think Putin is testing Trump. It was 19 different incursions, and then NATO worked as it should. What was interesting here was that the Poles, saw these incursions. There were Dutch fighter jets that joined Polish jets. There were German air defenses that were on the ground, and they were armed and ready. So it's a very serious moment. And there was a broader sense, and I'm trying to be fair, there's Trump aides who just felt he would take the presidency, and Biden had been so weak, and there would be a strong leader. And that is not happening in terms of at least Ukraine and getting Putin to back off and broker a deal. And you could argue also in terms of Netanyahu. So these are two major foreign policy crises for Trump, and critics will say failures.
And David Ignatius, you could argue the situation in Ukraine is only getting worse. It continues, and now this incursion into Polish airspace.
So the Polish Prime Minister, Donald Tusk, described this drone attack as a large-scale provocation by Russia, and I think that's exactly what it was. Russia has been increasingly pushing at the edges. There have been other drone overflights prior to overnight. The Poles have mostly let them go. But this time they shot down some of the Russian drones, and they responded, as David Rowe said, in coordination with NATO. This was treated as an attack on a NATO state. So we'll see what comes next. But it's obvious that Russia is pushing the boundaries, not just in Ukraine, where it's launching 800, 900 drones a night, plus ballistic missiles, but now spreading the war to other parts of Europe. Putin thinks he's on a roll, and somebody's going to have to stop him in a more dramatic way, I think.
Well, David, what are you hearing from the White House? I mean, again, here we are how many weeks past Anchorage? We're at least 2 weeks past when Donald Trump said he was going to give Putin 2 weeks, and things just keep getting worse. The attacks keep getting more harsh from Russia to Ukraine. The killing of Ukrainian citizens, of children, of grandmothers, now attacking Poland, or at least having drones going over the airspace, and as both you and David Rhodes said, purposely provoking NATO. What are you hearing from the White House? When will there be a response to all of this?
What I'm hearing from the White House is uncertainty, vague threats of further sanctions against Russia, but no decisive action. Donald Trump had the wrong theory of the case. I mean, he said repeatedly, and he must have really believed it, that it would be easy to solve this war. His friend Putin would see that with Donald Trump in the White House, it was time to end the war. The opposite has happened. Vladimir Putin does not have an interest in ending the war. He has an interest in winning the war. And I don't think the Trump White House has yet fully accommodated to that reality. The Ukrainians have. They're preparing to fight on. With help from Europe, if not the United States. But this is really crunch time for the administration. They either completely walk away and say, that's it, it's up to Europe, or they get more serious about trying to find ways to help.
Well, and if they walk away, then Donald Trump will be remembered as the man who not only lost Ukraine, but lost Central Europe and possibly Poland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, all those. Donald Trump will be remembered as the man who reconstituted the Soviet Union, the old Russian Empire, if he doesn't push back. Now, he said he's going to push back and not allow that to happen. But, it has been several weeks right now. There's also another thing that just has to be said right now. The United States Senate could pass sanctions. And they could push sanctions with a number of votes that they have and override any veto from the White House. At some point, while Ukrainians die, while Europe is threatened by invading Russian forces, while Europe is threatened, they sit on their hands and say, well, we're just going to wait to see what somebody else does. No, they're the first branch. They're the Article 1 branch. They have the power to stop the Russian invaders. They have the power to protect Western civilization. They have the power to protect democracy and freedom, not only in Ukraine, but in the Baltics and all across Eastern and Central Europe. They have the votes. If the president doesn't want to move on this, the Senate has to move on this, or the blood of all of these Ukrainians will be on their hands. And yes, the defeat of a country that's striving to become a Western democracy, that's reaching their arms out towards us for the freedom that Ronald Reagan and every president before him, from Harry Truman to Ronald Reagan, fought for, to give them the freedom when we won the Cold War. They can't sit on their hands anymore. If the president won't move, then the United States Senate needs to move.